So this is week 1, 2017, Hawaii Dynasty. Like I said, I traded in GTA 5 for Xbox One for this NCAA 14. I used to play it a lot back in the day, and it's getting real competitive with the Dynasty mode. Even playing on Heisman, I've played around with the sliders a little bit. I think some of you guys use the same that competitive website that use their sliders, but even then you kind of end up beating the computer a lot and winning some championships. So I've seen some people just raise the bars on the slider. So it was 2017 with Hawaii. I moved this out of the Mountain West Conference into the Pac-12. I actually left off talking about recruiting athletes, and it looks like they understand that in a few years my athletes are going to be pretty solid when they're some upperclassmen, because the guys project out in a few years to be ranked #1. So we're going to make sure we get that done. Johnny Jackson, that's who they see in a few years as taking over. Johnny Jackson, remember that name? One of my top athletes I recruited a couple years ago. We battled it out with Oregon last year. Man, that option game was pretty tough, but luckily to a couple turnovers, we actually picked one of their option passes off and took it to the crib to at least pull away and keep them just trailing us the rest of the way. So Johnny Jackson, he's like I said, one of my top athletes. He's not the star player of the team, but he's an athlete that I said that I grabbed one off season, just going pretty crazy with athletes, and he'll be a quarterback for me in the future. And this year will probably be like I said, a DB, man coverage, play recognition. I mean, this guy's a freshman redshirt, so we're pretty solid. These guys have been battling each other since they both came in. It looks like they came. I believe they did come out at the same time, and I ended up redshirting one and letting one play. Bozeman actually started last year, ended up dislocating his knee, so Bentley took over. He's been solid anyway. He's the more accurate at the quarterback, but Bozeman's so elusive. It's his senior year, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and let him carry the way. Marshall was an athlete. David Marshall was an athlete. I think he was just mainly a wide receiver, possibly, or a running back. We're gonna put him at running back. Pretty big guy, I'd say. Evans, balanced running back. Say speed, but he's pretty balanced to me. These guys are more elusive. Got to always have a power back in your two-back systems. I kept these two fullback. These guys are horrible. I did not recruit these guys. They walked on, and they're both from South Carolina, so I actually kept these two guys for pipeline points and not to be on the team. I redshirted one their freshman year, and I redshirted this guy this year. I don't want either one of them on the field. I just want it for pipeline points. Really don't use the fullback. We got pretty young receivers. Only one senior, Kane. I don't think I've done much with him. Yeah, since he's been around, kind of happens that way. I look for size in the receivers. That's 6'3", that's 6'4". Mitchell was a freshman last year. Only one. We had 3 seniors last year, and one of them went off to the NFL, thankfully. So Cox, he's the speedy one. His freshman year, as you saw, the longest receiver, 70 yards. So, yeah, I let him play as a freshman because that speed we needed at the time. We really didn't have much, and we still don't have much at the receiver position. Like I say, I've become more of a fan of possession receivers. They've jump balls I've seen in this game. I feel like the control isn't so out of control. I feel like it is a little bit. They have a little bit more control in this game, I feel, versus how Madden is now. That's just an opinion of mine, though. So yeah, tall receivers have come through in my game. So 6'2", 6'4". Got to get you at least, I guess, one of those quick receivers. I couldn't pass this guy. 5'11", 180, red shirt him though, 93 speed, and then of course, like I said, 6'2", 213, and 6'5", 217. All three of these guys are red shirted. So just looking out for Johnny Jackson when he's a senior, and Sean Hines. I had him as a true freshman. He had a great freshman year, and not too many since then. I was actually stacked at tight end, so kept him. Just using the weapons that we had. Not too amazing at line. Some JUCOs, some young players. I moved my linemen around every year. I believe Scott was actually a guard. Moved him to center. Floyd, I believe, was the original center. He's a guard. Look for some speed and or some awareness in my tackle. So this guy's some awareness and some speed. This guy's more just some speed. But that was just because when I was moving him around, hey, that's what I saw was best. D ends were pretty stacked. I did some off-season recruiting for a D end and thought I could turn some into outside linebackers, but no, some of them were not looking good in the overall category. Peter Gibson, he's started as a true freshman for me. Won the Lombardi his freshman year too. Solid year that year, not so much last year. That's probably me playing around with the slider, so different outcomes a little bit. So we're pretty stacked at, like I said, at DN. There's one I brought in redshirted. I believe there's another one. I'll probably put him at D tackle one day. He's 288, 71 speed. See how fast he gets. Sanders was actually a DN JUCO, 6'6", 235. The same size as Gibson. Gibson put on 2 pounds of muscle. So I said I would use this, see what his speed is like and size is like at D tackle next to this All-American Kevin Johnson, 6', 330. I say he's got some good block shedding. So you see what that speed to do up front. It's 92 block shedding. So we'll see what that speed does up front. Play recognition is okay. So we'll see. I mean, Stewart's not bad. It's the same as him. So we'll move him around. Linebackers, these guys, they've made some plays. Barnes, he's been with me for a few years. Pretty quiet when he's on the field, honestly, but he'll come through with a couple tackles a game. Hale was actually, he started as a true freshman, 72 tackles as true freshman. Like I said, again, this is probably moving around to sliders. Starts as a true freshman, gets 72 tackles. Next year goes to 49. A little bit more sacks. Did have a sweet pick six. That's what kind of got me a little more wanting to stream, was to show some highlights of some of these athletes. Him and Green came in at the same time, but Green hasn't really done too much. Got a little bit more playing time last year. That's where I might, play around with this 3-4 a little bit more. I've been running a 4-2-5 for the most part, which is using a little bit more strong safeties, but I was actually loaded with strong safeties, pretty solid ones for a minute. So Clark, pretty good. He's made some plays too over the years. Not too amazing, but I mean, hey, All-American. Another senior on the bench, Hefner, 92 speed. Hey, makes some special team plays for me. 6'5", 237. But his tackling is not too good and doesn't really get off the block. So, cornerbacks, we got 3 seniors. This is how our receiver group looked last year almost. Not as far as 3 seniors and 3 freshmen. I moved my defensive backs around, so, and I'm all about some height as well. So Lane, he's been with me for few years, 6'1", one of my first recruits, it looks like. Phillips getting his time to shine, didn't play last year. Johnson, I believe he was a JUCO, 95 speed, can't pass it up if they got some speed. And then he's 5'10". 95 speed, and then you got these 6'3", 6'2". So, like I said, and I thought about redshirting these guys, but I was like, these guys are leaving next year. Let's let these guys improve during the season. You know, let's give them some experience. It won't be too much, but if they end up picking something off, hey, let's go. Bates and Walker, I believe, were both athletes. Maybe not Walker, but Bates was, but he was JUCO. Was back up last year. He actually came to play. I mean, he came, when you see his uniform, he actually came to play quarterback. 84, throw power 77, but since we improved a little bit here, there was no need for him to be, you know, quarterback. So actually okay awareness and pretty good play recognition for my secondary. I mean, 84, 89 pursuit, I'll take it. So strong safeties, like I said, I used to run 4.25, and I had a lot more solid strong safeties at one point. Now I think I might back away from it. I don't know if I'm too excited about having 83, 81. My strong safeties were a little faster at the time. So I might just let these guys wait it out. He'll be leaving anyway. Redshirt is Scott, so we'll have a solid one in the future. Minor from Hawaii. This guy won the Groza last year. I don't know how, but I mean, I was there for a couple game-winning field goals he made. But they said he was the hometown kid back in Hawaii, because he did keep that winning season for us, that undefeated season for us last year. Didn't make it to the Rose Bowl, but not to the national championship last year. But hey, yeah, we know how those BCS rankings go. And okay, partner, I'm still working on my coughing game, but hey, tried to make this video a little short. I'll try to give you guys updates through on the way. Yeah, keep the NCAA movement going, man.